Welcome back to YouTube channel Chemistry Live UGPG. Today we will talk about Introduction to Inorganic Chemistry Lecture 2. So I have a simple message. Please think for innovation, be creative, learn everywhere, anytime and help to learn others. So let's discuss the lecture 2 of Introduction to Inorganic Chemistry. So last class we talked about the Schrödinger wave equation, which is del square psi plus 8 pi square m upon a square e minus b psi equal to 0. Or in short we can write h psi equal to e psi, where psi is called the wave function and it is fundamentally represents an orbital. So when we talk about psi, that is nothing but the amplitude of the wave, which has no physical meaning or a physical location. But if we talk about the psi square of wave function psi square represent the absolute probability of finding an electron at a specific point in space. So here you can see pictorially. So this is the amplitude that is represented by psi, and you can see the yellow region where you can find the probability of finding an electron, that is psi square. So let's discuss the characteristics of psi. So the psi must be continuous, it must be finite, and it must be single valued. And the integration minus infinity to plus infinity psi square dx dy dz equal to 1. So psi square is the probability of finding an electron at a point x, y, z. So several wave functions such as psi 1, psi 2 up to psi n will satisfy these conditions of wave equation, and each has corresponding energy such as E1 to En. So these are called eigen energy values. So Si equal to E psi, and each of these wave functions psi 1 up to psi n is called an orbital. So hence psi 1 describes an orbital, that is the volume in space where there is high probability of finding an electron. So for a given type of atom, there are a number of solutions to that wave equation, Schrödinger wave equation, which are acceptable, and each orbital is described uniquely by a set of 3 quantum numbers. So basically those are principal n, then azimuthal L, and the magnetic m. And the fourth quantum number is the spin quantum number. So n is the principal quantum number that tells us about the energy of the orbital. L, the azimuthal quantum number that tells us about the shape of orbital. So when L equal to 0, the orbital shape is spherical and it is S orbital. When L equal to 1, the orbital shape is a dumbbell shape and it is p orbital. So here is the diagram. Here you can see N stands for principal. It determines the energy of the orbital. Then L, azimuthal, it determines the physical shape of the orbital. Then M, magnetic, determines the exact orientation of the orbital in 3-dimensional space. And spin, the S, spin quantum number, that is the unique spin of the electron. Similarly, when L equal to 2, the orbital shape is a double dumbbell and it is called d orbital. Similarly, when L equal to 3, it is more complicated f orbital. So these later SPDF came from the spectroscopic terms: S for sharp, P for principal, D for diffused, A for fundamental, which are used to describe the lines in the atomic spectra. So here as you can see the shapes of the different orbitals: S spherical, P dumbbell, then D double dumbbell, and we have only one type of S orbital, 3 types of P orbital, and 5 types of a D orbital. Those are dxy, dyz, dzx, dz square, and dx square minus y square. And the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in an orbital is 2. So on examination, it is found that the allowed solution to the wave equation shows that the orbital fall into different groups. So from spectroscopy, S stands for sharp, where L value is 0 for S orbital, P for principal, L value equal to 1, for D orbital L value 2, and for F orbital L value 3. So here you can see the nice pictures of different SPDF orbitals. So here you can see the complicated structure of F orbital and the double dumbbell structure of D orbital. So when we go for solving the Schrodinger wave equation, the first group of solution where psi is the function of r. So the psi square depends upon the distance r from the nucleus and it is same in all directions. So this leads to the spherical orbital and occurs only when L equal to 0, that is called S orbital. When L equal to 0, we have also M equal to 0. Hence there is only one such orbital for each of the value of n. While going to the second group of solution, psi is a function of r into function of x. Similarly, function of r into function of y, function of r into function of z. So psi depends upon both the distance from the nucleus r and on the direction of space along x, y, z direction. So psi x equal to function of r into function of x. Similarly, psi z equal to function of r into function of z. So the orbital of this kind may occur when L equal to 1, that is p orbital. Similarly, when L equal to 1, the allowed m values are -1, 0, +1. So these are three possible values. So thus we have three types of p orbitals based upon these m values, -1, 0, +1. So accordingly, we have px, py, pz orbital, which are identical in energy, shape and size. So which differ only in direction of space. So orbital which are identical in energy are called degenerate orbitals. So thus three degenerate p orbitals occur for each of the values of n equal to 2, 3, 4, etc. So when L equal to 1, the possible values of m is -1, 0, +1. So based upon that, you can see px, py and pz orbitals. So this lead to the concept of a degeneracy. So each orbital have same energy. So now I would like to acknowledge Notebook LLM for making few slides from my notes for better understanding of the students. So please subscribe to our channel Chemistry Live UGPG. So this is the channel for class 11 and 12 students, Foundation Chemistry AV. So this is a simple step towards e-learning, making life better. Thank you all for learning.